Hey, good morning, my people. What's up? Hope and trust that all is going good. Today is Saturday, the 8th day of August, 2026, and the time right now is 6 minutes before the 8 a.m. hour. 6 minutes before the 8 a.m. hour. The phrase run its course is used to say something begins, it continues for a time, and then it ends. It is the end of the week in which we had our carnival. I didn't say nothing much about that. Um, where I normally hang out, the parade pass is there, so I did see something on the Monday and the Tuesday. I didn't go to no shows, I didn't go to no fetes, so I can't speak for them myself. I have heard views being expressed on both sides of the aisle in relation to how good, how effective the patronage of the shows, etc. I've heard it on both sides, so I'm not gonna speak for that. I wasn't there. I can't speak for it. I can speak for the Monday and Tuesday, because I did see those. The Monday, in my opinion, um, was an improvement from what I saw. According to the schedule, um, they would have started two hours, 2.5 hours late. They're about. Personally, that is the time that I believe you should be looking to start. I don't believe in setting unrealistic time knowing you're not going to meet it. I don't have the time with that. But to me, there was an improvement on the Monday. The Tuesday went back to its old self. It started again late according to its schedule. I think when it started is a reasonable time when it would have actually started. And then there was a gap between when they would have started and the big band. Um, we say the same thing every year, so I don't have to say that again. I think now we have had enough time to have a look at the new or the different carnival vision that some persons have presented or some persons are pushing, and I am getting the sense that that too has run its course. I am getting that sense. But you must can see that if we remain in icons right across the carnival experience, if they're not brought back into the planning stage of carnival in a meaningful way, right? We're going to continue to go in town to look at bottoms, some covered, some not covered, some big, some small, some firm and tight, we're going to continue going town to look at those. Vaginas, they come in all size and shape, and breasts, you know. If we're not able to bring back or incorporate our icons across the carnival, right across the full length and breadth of carnival, in the planning stages, if we're not able to bring them back in a meaningful way, to assist in the process, we see what we're going to be seeing. We already see that, and I suspect that that is going to go down a road that we might not want. When people put in a rum and you see all them some around the place, things happen. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's right, but me now going and building and see a bundle. Not me. But anyway, that's another discussion there. I think that, and I want to be clear, right? I want to be clear. I understand that things evolve. I'm fully understanding of that things evolve. But we must be seeing, we must always see from whence we came in a meaningful way. And I believe that there is a place for our icons. elder statesman in relation to Calypso, elder statespersons, man and woman in relation to the pageants, um, elder statesman and music in relation to mass. I think that there's a part for them to play in the planning stages. I think that the experience can be leaned upon and that we could come up with a good product. That is just my thoughts on that. If after 50 years, at least for the most of my lifetime, if we as a organization, an entity responsible for Carnival cannot control or execute a proper and timely parade route, if we can't do that after 50 years, most of the persons who go into town to look on, as our elders would say, they will just continue to cuss. And I say most of the persons because I've long passed that stage, and I'm aware of other persons too who have passed that stage where it doesn't bother them. Again, for me, if they didn't pass where I normally go hang out, I would not have seen it because I'm not in. I mean, year in year out the same thing, and people proud of that. All right, well, I guess that tells you the standard that they have. That's my first point here. Second point, we have not heard as yet what reply our prime minister would have received from President Trump. Maybe that's taken a little time. For those of us who follow these things, um, we have a duty to keep it on the front burner, not let it just fizzle out. Might have been a week. Yes, maybe a week is too quick for us to hear something, but I want to keep it on the front burner. That our prime minister have said to us that he have written to President Trump in relation to Antigua and Barbuda being placed on a permanent list of countries who would have to pay or who would have to deposit up to 54,000 EC dollars before securing an interview for a visa. So let us keep that on the front burner, my people, and have our government report to us as to what is going there. Our immigration fiasco, that is immigrants coming into this country, leaving this country to go north, both those who are using here as a pass-through, those of us here who would have gone north. And so, even those under the CIP program, those who would have gotten citizenship under the CIP program, um, it seems as if that too has run its course. It seems it's beginning to look that way. It began, it continued for a time, and it seems to be ending. Again, Batimas can see that our country have been brought to the stage it is right now under this Antigua Labour Party administration. That's just a fact. We have never been here in our history in relation to these kind of things, visas, or never been. We've been brought here by this present government, which was, yes, correctly, let me add that, which was voted into government by the majority of persons in this country. Time will tell if this administration will be able to dig us out of the hole that we are in. Time will tell that. We will eventually get the information as to why Antigua and Barbuda, Dominica, and Grenada have been singled out by the Trump administration. And as I say that, I was speaking to a comrade. I'm not gonna call his name, but I'm sure you will see this. I was speaking to him by Jason Brody shop. morning. I went there to buy a breakfast. And I met him. And we were having a conversation, and I was encouraging him to read. I was encouraging him to read, look at world news, understand how international things impact on us. I was encouraging him to do that. And just this morning, when my turn, I came across a video on YouTube. I don't mind running him, but I'll get into that a little later because I didn't even know myself. Our politicians who think they can outweigh Trump, boy, I suspect that they have a surprise coming. And the video that I just spoke about, do I still have it up? Do I still have it up? Yes, it's from it's on YouTube. It's from a site, um, the Golf Jargon. Let me see what it is. The Daily Jagran. The Daily Jagran. Jagran. And it's something that I subscribe to. It's a channel that I subscribe to. And just this morning, I saw a video which said that on our own Tuesday, the 4th of August, 2026, that's last Tuesday, our Carnival Tuesday here on Antigua, the United States State Department told Congress that it is closing 5 overseas posts. It is closing the embassy in St. George, Grenada, consulates in Winnipeg, Canada, and Nagoya, Japan. Also a consulate in Medan, Indonesia, and an embassy branch in the Cameroon. They're closing them all at the same time. Well, when I heard Grenada, and I perk up. But firstly, I didn't even know that they had an embassy in Grenada. So I went and I Googled that also. If they have an embassy in Grenada. And Google tells me yes, there is a US embassy located in St. George's, Grenada, in the something neighborhood. L apostrophe ANCE AUX EPINES neighborhood, which handles American citizen services. However, visa applications and formal visa inquiries for non-citizens are passed through the U.S. Embassy in Bridgetown, Barbados. So I didn't even know that was happening in Grenada. As I tell my friend, we have to read, broaden our scope. So when I saw that and I reviewed that, I said to myself, okay, that I believe. I could tell you what my belief is. That might be payback, if you want to call it that, for Grenada not allowing America to use its territory. Remember, they wanted to put a radar there in relation to when they had the issue down in Venezuela. I think eventually they put the radar in Trinidad or Tobago, one of them, Trinidad or Tobago. So when I heard it, that's what my mind ran back to. But yes, that news broke on Carnival Tuesday, maybe because some people were affecting, some people were watching what was out there on the market. Maybe that's why we didn't hear much about it. But I got that video there this morning. And again, persons can go and look for it yourselves. You go in on Google, not Google, YouTube, and just put in the search engine the Daily Jagran, DAILY JAGRAN, and it's a 4-minute video. U.S. pulls out of 5 nations. The real reason behind sudden and secret retreat. The Daily Jagran News. I believe this is a site coming out of India now. I believe it's a site coming out of India. But it went up 4 days ago, Carnival Tuesday. So persons might want to go and look for it themselves and subscribe to the channel. It gives you good news. At least I think so. Anyway, up to you. So that's the second thing that I wanted to look at this morning. And the third and final thing that I want to to look at this morning is I am beginning to hear a lot of things from, when did I speak to him now? About Wednesday? Between Wednesday and yesterday. Wednesday of this week and yesterday, Friday. I'm beginning to hear a lot of things. I'm beginning to hear that government salaries and wages is getting tight when it is time to pay. That's what I'm beginning to hear. I'm not sure if it was for what we know, August was July, but somebody who occupies a position that I think is credible. We were having a conversation and he told me that. Well, government had a spokesperson so they can come out and verify if that is the case or not. Also, I was speaking to another gentleman who is the head of a particular department, and he was telling me that they went to some meeting with with I think he said it was Cordella Weston. If that is Cordella Weston, the same Cordella Weston that I know, she would be the daughter of the late Patricia Weston and former PS Cordell Weston. I haven't seen Mr. Weston in a while. Those persons are personal friends of mine. Her mom would have worked with me at State Insurance. Or I would have worked with her, I should say, because she was older than at State Insurance. But the guy told me he went to some head of department meetings and they were told to tighten up. And his thing is that I was done tight already. I wouldn't go into some other things that he told me. And was it yesterday? Yesterday's Friday. No, it would have probably been Thursday. I was speaking to another lady, another senior person in the government thing, and she was telling me that assessment of staff employees was being implemented. So I smiled when she told me that staff were things were being put in place now to assess staff, and I don't have a problem with that. To be honest with you, as a unionist, you want to have a good knowledge as to who is efficient and who is not. But I also know that when you get that information, it leads to something else. So let us wait and watch and see. And one gentleman that I spoke with, he too was at this meeting, this head of department meeting or something. He told me that based on what he's hearing, he believes that a program might become necessary at the end of the year going into next year. So I said, when I say program, what I mean? He said, maybe some kind of IMF program or something. I said, oh, okay, okay, okay. So let us watch and see. But that is what I'm beginning to hear. That is what I'm beginning to hear. Um, the elders used to say, and my boss, not like when we talk with the elders, but when we talk with the elders because they've taught us so many things. The elders used to say, see smoke without fire. See smoke without fire. But I suspect that time is about to show us if this present Labour Party administration have run its course. I believe the time is about to show us that. Personally, I'm a man who I like order. I like discipline. And even though sometimes you have to relax, a little bit, the discipline a little bit, you can't just throw it out the window. And I think that this society has reached a stage where there is little or no order, there is little or no discipline, and we're gonna have to get back there. Who's gonna take us back there? I don't know. Because if we don't get back there, we're gonna begin to look like another Caribbean island. I'm gonna call it an island. We're gonna begin to look at that like that island in years to come, in my opinion. So, my people, that is my contribution for today. Do continue to have a safe day. Keep yourself hydrated. We have been having some heat along the way. I haven't checked the weather to see what's happening out in the Atlantic, if there's anything out there. But follow the Met Service or the local weather, the official government agency to keep yourself abreast as to what's happening so that anything that's out there, you'll get the information way early so that you can make your preparation. Until we come together again, my people, stay safe and bless up.